Stu here with Raid Shadow Legends. Welcome. We're going to be talking about champions that do damage based off of enemy max HP. So I've been on Twitch every day, every morning at 9 a.m. Tokyo time, GMT +9, to go over accounts, to help out, see what we can do to improve the accounts, give a little bit more direction if it's needed. There's a lot of people that help out in that chat. It's not just myself. It's a lot of fun. We hang out and we just talk about the game. Good times, good times. So come over and join us on Twitch, StewGaming TV. We will see you there. There's also, if you go to the top of my YouTube page, there's a link to it. It will take you right to it. Hit follow and you'll be notified when I go live. So the reason why I'm doing this video is we want to focus on champions that are very popular that do damage based off of enemy max HP. Now you just saw these two Royal Guards in action. We're going to talk about Royal Guard, Seer, and Coldheart because these are pretty much the biggest well-known champions out there. And a lot of times when we look at these accounts, they're geared a little fragile. And it's because it's a little misleading on their skills for what they say they do. Here on Takedown, it says based off of damage based off of attack and enemy max HP. And then here on Coldheart's Heartseeker, it says enemy max HP and attack. Now the order really doesn't matter whatsoever. And the attack percentage part of that is so minute, it's so little that it's really not important to ever focus on attack. Now Seer doesn't say that. Seer just, Karma Burn says specifically enemy max HP. Really this skill is based off of how many buffs you can steal and eat from your own team or the enemy's team. And then off of the enemy max HP. So the more HP the enemy has, it's going to do more damage. But you really need to eat a lot of buffs as well to do damage. If you go in there with Seer and you don't have any buffs to eat whatsoever, she's not going to do a lot of damage. But again, the only way to increase this damage is to do critical damage. You want to make sure you can always increase all these hits. If the enemy has a weaken up, you're going to do damage increase by 25%. If the enemy has a decreased defense of 60%, you're going to pretty much increase your damage by, I don't know, somewhere around 40% or so, or 50. It's a lot. It's a really a lot. So make sure you always have that decreased defense up if you can. And then to get just more, to pump just more actual damage out of all three of these champions though, all you want is critical damage. And you want to make sure that on their chest, you try to put an HP chest. Because I see this all the time with our champions. Let's make sure I have the right one. HP percentage chest of 60% to give them a little bit of survivability because they're going to get hit, right? Now with the build you just saw in spiders, it's an in-game. We're going to kill the spider. We're not going to be hit. That's a different story. But I do use a Coldheart in Fire Knight, and there's a possibility for her to get hit quite a few times. I use a Coldheart. If you want to use her in Dragons, you can use her in Dragons. I do use a Royal Guard in Dragons. I use a Royal Guard in Ice Golem. So there are going to be other places you're going to take them to. And I use Seer in pretty much everything. If you've seen any of my other Seer videos out there, I use her in a lot of things. So for my Seer, unfortunately, I didn't have an amazing chest piece to put on her of HP percentage, which I would like to have. But you got to use what you've got, right? But the main point is that a lot of times what I see on all these champions when we're looking over those accounts are HP percentage, our attack percentage here, maybe even attack percentage on the boots, and then very fragile, where if they get hit, they fall over very easily. And what we're going to do is we're going to test the damage. We're going to go in there, we're going to do all the damage with these champions without an attack increase and then with an attack increase. So you can see the little bit of jump in damage that they get, it's very small. Now an attack increase increases your attack by 50%. We're going to do the Arbiter one. Increases all your attack by 52%. Now that's total attack. So if we have an attack of, that's not a good one to do because I don't have a lot of attack on that person. Let's say if we have an attack of 4,000, we're gonna make that 50% more. We're gonna increase it to 6,000. 6,000 is a big jump. That's a huge jump because that takes a lot of gear to get an additional 2,000 attack. So you would think we're gonna do an insane amount of more damage, but we're not. We're not. That's why. Since it only brings it up such a small amount, that's why we don't focus on it. And that's why you should not focus on it as well, especially progression-wise, until very end-game when you know you're going to survive and you're really just pushing the numbers. If you wanted to, sure. I still don't see any need to, but if you wanted to, you can do that. Let's look at our total. We'll look at our total stats on all these champions. I've got 100% crit, 268 critical damage. I'm not worried about attack whatsoever. Same thing on these guys right here. I have... This one probably has my highest. I think I have an attack chest piece on just this one champion because it's what I needed to get up to the stats I needed. Now, I am using Bad Alcazar for my crit lead, so my crit isn't 100%. But if I wasn't using Bad El, I would want 100% crit on my Royal Guard, and I would want a HP chest on my Royal Guard. On all my people, I'd want an HP percentage chest here. I had to go with defense. That's what I had. That's fine as well. Go with defense, speed boots, critical damage here, critical damage there. But keep this in mind. As you're coming up, as you're a new player playing the game, do you need to outfit these champions this way? No, you don't have to. You're still going to do really good damage even without critical damage gloves if your person is falling, if your champion's falling over. But when you get toward end game, you're always going to want to have critical damage on these champions. That's where they're going to derive their damage from. And then you want HP chest for the most part on here. If you can get an HP chest, that's going to be your best friend. We're going to go over here to this Coldheart, if it'll let me. And see the HP chest here. And what do we have on this Coldheart? And HP chest there. So let's look at these stats. Now I have Savage gear on this Royal Guard, Savage gear on this Coldheart, and then mixed match gear on this one as well. So it's whatever you want to do, but keep in mind also you're going to need accuracy. So in the end game, when you get to end game, hopefully you've worked on your Great Hall for accuracy. You've got an accuracy banner because you're going to want that. Do you need that right away as you're coming up? No, you don't need that right away. You don't have to focus on accuracy. You probably want to do damage first to progress, but you do want that accuracy because they do other amazing skills. Like you're going to want to do decreased defense in times with your Royal Guard. Like I said, I use my Royal Guard in dragons. He doesn't kill the dragon right away. I need this decreased defense on him. For the spiders, it's a different story for my setup right now. And for you, you're going to want that. You're going to want to take advantage of his decreased speed turn meter and decreased speed debuff. And you're always going to want this Heart Seeker to deplete the enemy's turn meter, and you're going to need accuracy for that. And especially for Seer, you're going to need some accuracy to make sure that you take the enemy's buffs if they have them and convert that into damage. Plus, if they have a buff up, they're probably going to take less damage. If it's an increased defense, if it's a reflect, you want to make sure that Seer eats all that stuff so that she gets stronger and that so she doesn't take damage if it was a reflect or anything else. So you're always going to want some accuracy on there. And again, that stuff you can work on in game. So just make sure I'm going to show you right now that attack isn't that important. And to make sure that, and if you always also, let's go back really quick. Also, if you wanted to use Stalwart gear, you're going to be farming dragons. You're going to be farming dragons a lot. Stalwart gear decreases the damage taken from AoE by 30%. That's huge. Really huge. So there's nothing wrong with having any of these champions in Stalwart because I use Coldheart and Fire Knight and you might take some hits. I use Royal Guard in Ice Golems and in Dragons. You might take some hits. When you're coming up, if you use these champions even in Spiders, you're probably going to take some hits. So you're going to need that HP on there, and we're going to show you that it doesn't matter to have the attack. To have that crazy amount of attack, you don't need it. You just need that critical damage to increase their damage on those skills because those skills are what matter. So let's go back over here to Spiders 20. We're going to do a run really quick. We just did a run when we first started the intro of this, and we're going to take out, let's make it to where we can see what kind of damage they're doing. We'll put him as lead and these two in here, and let's see. Let's get an idea of what damage they're doing without an attack increase. Hopefully we'll get this decreased defense, otherwise we're in trouble here. Good. So let's pay attention to Takedown and Heart Seekers. Takedown, we got 1 mil, that's about normal. 1.4 mil here on the second one. And for our Heart Seeker, they need to loop around here. Okay. This is a YOLO team. If we don't kill the boss, we're in trouble. 1.3. And this one probably might hit a little bit harder. Let's see what she hits for. Come on, Coldheart. Let's go. 1.5. So 1.3 to 1.5 was very consistent for all these. Somewhere around there. Some of them hit, I think 2 of them hit for 1.3. Maybe another one hit for 1 and 1.5. So let's go in here and edit this to have a Arbiter. We'll take out one of these Coldhearts. To be honest with you, I don't know which one. Let's take the slower. Let's take the slower one out. I don't know. I think it's that one. No, it isn't. It's this one. And we'll put Arbiter in here to get a 50% increase attack, which is huge, and see what kind of damage we're going to do now. Let's get that decreased defense up again, I hope. We need it, especially if we're trying to look at these numbers. Now remember, 50% additional attack is a lot. So we increase this damage not at all. We increase this damage very little. And we're going to do a Heart Seeker in just a second. And then we're probably going to be in trouble because this team isn't made to take it down right away. 1.3. So as you can tell, increasing the attack isn't a lot. So instead of, don't try to push in an attack lead. Don't try to use that attack gear. Focus on critical damage. And then if you want to get fancy later on, you can put them in Savage gear. You can put them in additional gear to increase that critical damage further. But for the most part, as you can see, we don't need it. We definitely don't need it. So anybody out there, if you're building these champions, make sure you build them really sturdy. You can use stalwart gear and just get that critical damage up, get that crit rate up. And we're going to go, we'll jump over. Let's jump over to Seer and Royal Guard. Jump out of this real quick. Doesn't look like we're going to take it this way. All right, let's jump out of this and go over to a Dragon's Run, and then we'll be out of here. So if you have any questions, please post them in the comments below. We'll go over here to Dragons, and this will be a fast run. This will only be a minute run because we're going to have Seer eat all these buffs, but at least you'll get this. I have so many videos on Seer. Here we go. Buffs. Seer takes the wave down, and then we'll go on to the next one. Usually Royal Guard only does his A1 there. He doesn't do his takedown already, but that's fine. We're going to reset here with Kymar, and we're going to do it all over again. Same old stuff. Buffs are up, and bam. The wave is dead. So we made it to the boss in 18 seconds. And then from here on, I do need Royal Guard to survive. Or I'd like him to, at least to make it a little bit faster. And I'd like that decreased defense on his A1. So I do need accuracy there. And again, I want him in HP percentage chest so he can take a few hits from the dragon when the dragon exhales here. And it all works out. And to do more damage on them, we just need that additional critical damage. So I'm hoping for, I was hoping for a faster run. Decreased defense, there we go. Now we just need a takedown. And Karma Burn, nice. Okay, and we're almost there. We are almost done. Looks like it's going to be a little over a minute this time. That's okay. But that's how these three champions operate, or any champion with damage based off of enemy max HP. So keep that in mind. I wish you all the best. If you have any questions, post them below. And I will see you guys all on a video soon.